What keeps you going, mate? Were there ever any points where you're just like, okay, I'm done?
No,
you know, well,
I'm
did you
glad
have
you
any barriers
asked,
or
I'm glad you asked that question. I think what I really absolutely enjoyed about this journey was something, okay, to start with, I was passionate, but also really having that belief that we need to look after ourselves, but we can make the change, not just for the community, but back home. And so for me, getting up every morning, I was always blessed to say, you know, you're working with this group of wonderful, marvelous women who are at that stage in their life that they are contributing, you know, intelligently.
Yes.
You know, their wisdom, you know, their experiences are just phenomenal. And the fact that we want to see that change and we want to do it for our children or our grandchildren, I think for me, that every morning getting up, it didn't matter. It was the academic part that was tiring and tedious, the paperworks and trying to justify to the ethics committees about why I had to work with the women and their involvement and their names going on the ethics documents, preparing ethics forms at a lay term rather than too academically. So I had to do two lots of everything and to justify that why their ownership is important in this. It's not just about me, but it's about what we're doing collectively, because it's a real stuff.
Yes.
It's not just the research. It's not, I said, for me, I wouldn't do this if I don't believe that we as a group of women and men and our community wants to see the change here, but the change is back home.
And back home.
So for me, that was a blessing. The challenges were very institutional, and it was fitting in with the time frame. So for them, they would want you to finish it in the 3 and the 4 years. I told them that's not how it works. If we meet with the community, you work within the community context. You can't sit like we do. You can't expect half an hour of an interview and a focus
and
group.
just capture it all, done, dusted, tick the box.
So building the relationships and learning about that was probably the challenge, was actually justifying that. The other, I guess, from a personal point of view of the challenge for me was, I'm quite vocal and I do talk and I think I finally found my place.
Yes.
I think I came here as a 17-year-old and I was much more of an introvert. So my running, and I met in my husband, and I'm very close to my family, very, very close-knit. So even if you count a number of very close friends, it'll be within the 5. Within, you know, I can count it here. And my best friends are my family, just my kids and my husband. You know, so we do pretty much everything together. But I joined the running group, so I've got a group of friends there, and then meeting the group of women. So that opened a side of me. And I remember one of the ladies said to me, one of the first committee members, when we started this, as our first committee with PW, and she said, Arini, I remember her, and I still remember this phrase she said to me. She said, Hina, you have blossomed and you've ballooned. You were this little petal that was like that, a little bud, and she said, now look at you 3-4 years down the track, you've actually, and she said, you used to be sitting in the corner quiet, you know, saying something a little bit, and look at you now. I said, I didn't realize that. So I guess the women brought the best out of me. So I've grown in that way. I've actually become a lot more, and I think the passion has grown with it as well, and I think it's just been such a wonderful experience, and it still is. So it will not stop. It's not the research, but it's and so for me, that's why I've not gone back to academia. So people ask, I said, I have no interest there. I will work in the community, and I can spend. It's not the money that matters, but you know, it's dedicating the time, you know, till I probably die, and I think I'd like to do that. And you know, I will always be working with the women and the children in schools. That they're the two things that I really love doing it. So.
And that's totally inspiring, because that inspires people like me and people who are going to be listening and people who are going to be watching, to see you're part of your